The miniseries Spider Shadow is considered part of the What If series despite not being an official volume. Peter doesn't originally check in with Reed to find out why his symbiote suit is acting up, thus he continues with it, proud of how it strengthens his crime-fighting abilities, but wary of how he never seems to get any sleep, and when he does, it's full of nightmares. Peter nearly kills Hobgoblin, barely pulling himself back, but is confronted by Felicia later. He finally meets with Reed to discover the suit is alive, but that one additional night was all that was needed to convince Peter he's fine with being bonded to it, refusing to get it removed. Peter checks in with Aunt May, but a vengeful Hobgoblin stalks him home and attacks both of them. Due to the symbiote's weakness to fire, it holds Peter back from saving May, and she dies in the house explosion. Thus, Peter, overcome with grief, crushes Hobgoblin. The incident is published in Bugle, worrying Kingpin, who decides to take matters into his own hands. Peter violently confronts Jonah, warning him to never publish a story about him again. The Fantastic Four feverishly search for Peter, realizing the danger he's become and that the symbiote is close to permanently bonding. MJ discovers Peter's new look, and he tells her he's making all the decisions now before leaving, only to be ambushed by Shocker and Scorpion, whom he horrifically kills before tracking down and doing the same to Kingpin. Several villains and Jonah band together to take down Peter, but after the meeting, Doc Ock is assassinated by Eddie Brock, taking his arms and place on the team. They set an ambush in a rural area, drawing Peter in with the Beetle, whom Peter also kills. Mysterio tries to disorient Peter with his illusions, but the symbiote sees right through them and kills him. He then starts on the other villains, but Kraven senses he's scared of fire, and Jonah in the Spider Slayer outfit forces him into a burning barn, but Peter reveals who he is to Jonah, causing Jonah to have second thoughts and get Peter out of there. He rushes him home to MJ and Felicia, where the police are also waiting thanks to intel released by Kingpin before his death. They think the symbiote is gone, but it turns out to have survived and infiltrated Fantastic Four headquarters, possessing Reed and Ben and using Reed's technology to enhance its abilities. Peter and MJ escape and try to find Reed, only to discover the Baxter Building surrounded by the symbiote. Peter works with the heroes who are trying to keep order and finally convinces them to let him help despite his reputation. The building lets him enter, MJ and Johnny also sneaking in, where they're attacked by Ben, who tires out Peter. Johnny eventually throws Ben out of the building before finding the symbiote Reed, who's using his intellect to clone itself and possess the heroes outside. Johnny and MJ confront them, who tell her Peter loves her and that's why she's in the way, and the two escape, Reed right behind them. The distraction allows Peter to recover and infiltrate Reed's lab, where he searches for something to destroy the symbiote. At Peter's request, the heroes head back to the lab, where Peter emerges and volunteers to permanently bond with the symbiote. It agrees, killing Reed for good measure, and begins bonding with Peter again, only for it to be a disguised Johnny who roasts the symbiote once and for all. Peter turns himself in, but thanks to the testimonies of the other heroes, is declared not guilty and is even inducted into the Fantastic Four. But as a final note, Kingpin is revealed to be alive and in possession of the final symbiote. This was awesome! Easily one of the best stories we've looked at. It's very theatrical, structured a lot like a movie with a variety of locations and a grand final act, with even the traditional Marvel mid-credits scene. You could argue a couple parts are too convenient and Peter probably gets off too lightly, but it's nice to see he does take responsibility, and as I've said before, any story that makes Jonah sympathetic is doing something right.